we got less than 5,000.
No, I think I tried to barter it up to 10, and that's when shit went
sideways.
So, is Kata looking for a staff? Or like some claws or some shit?
If there were claws that worked off dexterity, I'd be down with that. But I'm probably just gonna be looking for a scimitar.
Okay. So welcome back, everyone. Now that the quality of the stream has changed, so that hopefully I don't keep dropping frames every 5 seconds. Yeah, Sven is sitting there. So, what can Sven do for you? This is normally where the people start talking to Sven.
Oh.
Something to protect magic people like me would be great.
I know exactly what you mean. Yes. You magic-using people, you tend to be kind of squishy. Like old Sven here. That's why I don't go into battle. I make the magic items. I don't use them much. Which is good, because when you start using your own product, then, conflict of interest comes in. What kind of things are you looking for? Maybe a very pretty cloak, or maybe a ring that protect you from bad things coming at you. What kind of a thing are you looking for?
Both sound good. What do you have?
Many different things. Let me look what I have here. I always have lots of different things. And he's just as he's doing this, he's like flipping through pages, and you see other things just falling. I have no idea why I'm dropping frames now. But I'm recording it, so the YouTube video will be intact. Did I lose you guys too?
Jody.
He's choppy.
Yeah, he's...
Why are you doing this? I have you on low. Let's go to super low. Let's just bottom out everything. This webcam was supposed to fix things, not make them worse. All right, we are back. Hold please, as I look through things. No attack of many things a bad thing.
Only when put in certain people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
We don't give you things like that. That'd be open. That'd be bad. Very, very bad. Well, I have for you. And as he's fiddling around and he finally brings out a mannequin with a pretty kind of elaborate looking cloak on it. It's got a blue tinge to it. Full hood. It's got a little kind of I don't know what the word for it is. It goes, "This is a beautiful cloak of protection. It will increase your defenses. If I had to put a number on your defenses, maybe I would say this would increase your defenses by 1. If I were to put a number to what your defenses are." I have more advanced versions of this cloak, but they are, let's say, more pricey. What is their price range that you are looking for?
Well, how much is this one?
This being a very unique magic item that you can only find at Sven's, I would say this would run about 1,000 gold.
Okay. I've never spent that much money on anything in my life. Okay. And the better ones, how much are they?
Depending on exactly how fancy you want to get with it, and giving me a second for looking at these things. If I were to give you, I have another one in the back that if I had to give a number to your defenses, this would probably make your defenses 2 better. That one would run you about 7,000 gold pieces.
Okay. Whew.
Those look like awesome things.
They're custom made. If you like, I do not look like it, but I am very good with sewing. So what I can do is, if you give me a little bit of time, I can sew your name into cloak. I can sew things like badass or super wizard or I am the coolest, or if you can read this, you are too close to me, please step away, in very tiny writing. Whatever it is you want to make your cloak, your own personalized cloak. I change colors, and he waves his hand and it turns pink. That is temporary change. For me to make permanent change to it, it take a little more time. But if you purchase it, I will change colors for free. You just have to give me time to change the colors, because this is just simple trick. Watch, I turn it, and it turns into polka dots, pink and purple polka dots on a white background. And then I can do this, and it turns into basically an enlarged photo of Fade's face.
I'll take it.
Do you like that one? Do you want your face on it, or you want some other color?
Never mind. I'll wait and see what they want. I'm not really shopping right now.
Oh, but you look like you could use something, especially with that very unique looking gauntlet you have there. It looks very interesting to me. Would you mind if I examine it? I am always interested in items I have not seen before.
Well, you have not seen something like this before, and if we can come to some sort of arrangement when we're done shopping, perhaps an examination would be in order.
For unique magic items, I am willing to give discounts if you allow me to examine unique magic items.
Very well. Let's see what we can do.
Okay, we make a deal. Sven likes the deals. Everybody, you talk to anybody in the entirety of Alandwell, they tell you Sven likes the deals. Sven likes to wheel and deal. He likes to talk to people. I am a people person. So we make it a deal.
So there's this really cool
accent
thing
is
that makes you
traveling
harder
all over the world.
Harder to hit, huh? You get to add 2 to your little gnomish...
Yeah, not this one. This one is just a 1. I have one in the back that is a 2. I also have rings that they have this magic field, make it much more difficult for you to hit. These cloaks are more about, they kind of absorb the blow. The magic rings, they kind of create a shield around you, but have a similar effect.
Interesting.
And then I have something very interesting. Hold for a second. And he goes, and again, he's dropping things. You hear a crash, and oh no, that was for Mama. And eventually he comes back, and he's got a set of bracers. He goes, and these are very, very interesting. I got them from a monk who had basically gotten to the point that no one could hit him. And so he had no reason to have these anymore. But they are magical in nature. They will also give you, make you more difficult to hit. The interesting thing about these bracers is they react to other metal and things like that, and leathers. And so they do not work if you are wearing armor of any kind, which is why they worked for the monk, because he did not wear armor. He wore a bathrobe. I could never figure out why he wore bathrobe. He said it improved his chew, but it was whatever. He was very famous champion of the arena, and he was very good at what he did, but not very fashionable. I do not think he was very fashionable. I told him, if you come in, I change your bathrobe, make it look splendid. He did not want that.
Oh, Sven, you seem like a great guy.
That's what everyone says about Sven. Sven is a great guy. Sven likes to wheel and deal, and Sven is a people person. So if you are people, I am a person for the people.
I've been called a people before.
That's
You said
good.
you had that,
I think
that
you
other
are a
cloak
people.
in the back. What other interesting items? I mean, we're talking about interesting magical items. What do you have that's not run of the mill? I mean, I've seen cloaks like this before.
Not run of the mill. You want the special stock.
Well, this powerful wizard over here, she can control many magics, more so than I.
You want the special stuff. Well, in that case, I guess you're going to have to be a little bit more specific as far as the special stuff that you're looking for, though.
How can one become invisible?
One become invisible. Well, I know a few spells that will do that are kind of useful.
Do that.
Yeah, see, wizards do that all the time. It annoys me a lot because I don't know if you noticed, I'm not in the greatest part of town, and every so often the little kitty wizards, they come in, they cast invisibility on themselves, and then they go and they move things in the shop. And then they think that I won't notice, but I notice because I can see invisible things some of the time if they are moving a lot and making a lot of noise. I can see them, kind of. And then I catch them and I go, no, you don't come into my shop on invisible. I will call the guard on you. And then they step on my foot and run out the door.
Do you have magic scrolls or spell books or things like that?
I have my own personal spell book, but I do not share that with people. I can acquire certain magic scrolls. I do not tend to keep many here, just because there is not a huge market for the magical scrolls in my shop. Generally, when people want the magic scrolls, they come in, they put down payments, I get them the scrolls, they pay for the rest of it. It takes maybe a day.
Okay.
Sometimes less, more simple scrolls like something like Shield Spell. Shield Spell, very simple scroll. I have that in a few hours. But if you're looking for something like Cloud Kill or Tensor's Floating Disc or something like that, that takes me more time to make and to find materials and everything for it. So.
What about teleportation?
Teleportation. What kind of teleportation are we talking about? Like long distance, small distance, medium distance?
Other planes of existence?
Well, since the other planes of existence are kind of mad at us right now, there's not really a market for things like that. So I don't have anything that does that. But for smaller teleportation, I have. Well, let me show you. This is very, very cool. Watch this. And he goes into another part of the store, and you hear crash, bang, bang. Oh no, I needed that. And then he comes out, and he's wearing this really, really wicked-looking cloak. There's a picture of it in here, and I want to describe it correctly. No, there isn't. Why would they have a picture of the coolest cloak in the game?
Aww.
So he's sitting there, and he's got this cloak that, just looking at it, it's very, very dark. But you can't really call it black. It's almost like it has an absence of color. And he puts the hood up, and it casts shadows over his face, so it's particularly hard to see his face. And then he kind of takes the edge of the cloak and kind of wraps it, and you see this puff of smoke, and then he appears behind you. And he goes, ta-da! Look what I can do! I teleport, and it's very cool.
That is very cool.
Yes. They call this.
Cape of the Month.
You are very good. Why can't I find? This is not that hard. Is it cape and not cloak?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Cape.
That's why I couldn't find it. Oh, and it's red in this one.
Ah.
There we go. He goes, yes. So this is my special. They call it Cape of the Mount Block. I call it Cape of Sven teleporting and making smoke. I think is a descriptor of it. I don't know about you, but I think it's a very good description of the cape.
And does it work?
Of course it works. You just watched it work. The kind of downside of it only works once a day. But it can teleport you up to 500 feet in any direction. You don't even need to be able to see it. You just think 500 feet that way, and then hope you don't appear in a wall, because that's painful. It also causes property damage and gets Sven in trouble with his wife. But I told her, it is for the business, and we didn't need that wall. I mean, who has 4 walls in their own bedroom anymore? I mean, really. Besides, it made it easier for us. Like, we have a beautiful view of the street now, right from our bedroom. Like, we wake up and we have the whole city in front of us. Yeah, she didn't believe that either, but I thought it was a good thing. I think it adds resale value to the home, not taking it away. I slept on the couch for a little while. Or rather, she slept on the couch. I slept outside on the bed that she pushed outside through the hole I made.
Swim focus.
Sorry.
What would something like that run us?
Something like that. That is a very, very interesting item. This should probably run you about 8,000 gold pieces on its own. But again, you have something interesting. I might be willing to maybe come down on the price. You let me look at your unique gauntlet there.
Of course. Let's put a pin in this one. What else do you have?
Oh, you want me to sew something? Do you want badass on the back or?
No, I can do that one too.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to charge you for it. I was just, it's service that Sven offers.
No, I meant I can make a little door and go 500 feet away too.
Oh.
Yeah, it's dimension door.
Yeah, but I mean, when
It's a
you
nice
do
quote.
yours, does it say badass on your back? Or
No.
super wizard? See? I mean, that is what the... Wow, you drive a hard bike. I thought this was a very cool thing. Fine, I take out all the stops. You've broken Sven. You've broken Sven. This is pride. I now have to redeem myself in your eyes with one of the most amazing things you have ever seen in your entire life. Hold, please.
I can't wait to see this amazing thing.
Neither can I.
What to do?
All right. Are you ready for the most amazing thing you've ever seen?
Is it invisible? I don't see it, Sven.
Hold, please.
Yes.
I have to find the damn thing in the puck.
Be patient.
Despite the fact that I knew you guys are going to do a shopping, I did not go through my DM's guide, and so I'm reacquainting myself with the rarities of these different items, and trying to remember how much everything costs, because I am a really well prepared DM.
It's okay, Jody. We forgive you.
I have the greatest thing you have probably ever seen. No. Just hold your breath. Hold your everything, because this is going to just knock your socks off.
Willow takes the little flask she has off her hip and just hands it to Avok.
Thank you.
There's not much, but go ahead and finish it.
Okay.
Where are the damn items I'm looking for? I swear to you, I'm not doing this on purpose. I swear.
What are you trying to find?
Anything. I'm literally drawing a blank on every single magic item, and I'm just randomly going through. I can give you an iron flask. That won't cause any issues whatsoever. Where is
I mean,
it?
we would love a bag of pudding or something like that.
I can't see him.
It's not the thing I'm looking for. Come on. Talk amongst yourselves for like 2 seconds, please.
Yeah, let's fill in some of our time.
So
Right now, so Avok took a big swig of what was left of that flask. Fade, go ahead. You were to say something.
I was gonna say, Fade is probably gonna try to shop here for like potions and whatnot, and then try to find a. Oh, we can't go to the temple because there's super shady people there. So I guess I'm gonna ask this guy if he has prayer beads at some point.
Okay.
Cool.
So he finally comes out, and he has got this small wooden box. Because this is something special. You will not find this in the fancy, expensive district of town. They would not carry something so magical, so amazing. This is a Sven exclusive.
Oh,
And he
Sven.
opens it up, and inside the box slides open. Because the top is basically in a groove, and so the wooden top just slides open, and inside you see a brush and some paints.
nice.
I think I know what
I think I know what it is too.
He goes, so these are what I call Sven's super awesome paints. Watch this. You see, this is a normal wall, and he points, and there's shelves. He's like, that's not going to work. Maybe if we go, no, because that, and I need those, and that, but that one's on hold. We go over here. And he goes to, he kind of like pushes past you guys and closes the door. He goes, watch this. And he sits there, he takes the paint, and he starts just kind of painting. And he paints a smaller door on his door. And he goes, watch, wait for it. And then he goes to grab, and the painting looks pretty good. Like, you're kind of impressed. He goes to grab the door handle on the door he just painted, and he turns the door handle and opens the door on his door that he just painted. Look, it makes the thing. You paint the thing, it becomes the thing.
That is the thing.
What? So not just doors.
No, you paint anything you want. It becomes real for the most part. I mean, if you paint the fireball, it's not going to come out and explode or anything like that. But you paint a door, it becomes a door. You paint a table, the table comes out. You know, you make things. It's very, very, very useful for the dungeon. You know, the dungeoners, they go through and they go, oh, there's a door here, but it has a lock on it. I just paint a new door. Or maybe what you do is your enemies see you paint a door and they go through it and they follow you, and then you take another set of paint and you paint another door, and then you watch all of your enemies, they just run into the wall because they think it's a real door, but you use the other kind of paint and they just flat up against the wall, and then you can kill them. This is very advanced magical tactics. Only Sven knows these.
Do I recognize what this is or understand how it's working?
You can roll me an Arcana check.
That is a 23.
You have heard of an incantation that basically it's a remarkably difficult thing to do, and it wasn't something that Eladrin really not approved of, but really cared about. So you'd never seen one before, but you think this is what's called Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments. And what it allows you to do is basically you can paint a two-dimensional object and it becomes three-dimensional. You don't actually have to be an artist or anything like that. Part of the incantation and the magical aspect is you think of the object you want and it will direct your hand to paint it, and then the object becomes real. There are some limitations, like the item can't be worth more than about 25 gold.
Gotcha.
So you can't like paint a Vorpal sword or anything like that.
Sure.
Yeah, like doing things like painting a door on a wall will create a door, and other things like that. So,
Pretty useful.
or painting a pit on the floor with spikes in it would create a pit with spikes in it.
Sure.
So it can modify terrain. It can create, basic, items and stuff like that, basically out of thin air. It eventually would you would eventually run out of paint, but each pot of paint is sufficient to cover around 1,000 square feet of surface,
Lasts a
and
while.
there are four little pots of paint in there. So you've got a fairly large amount of paint. You'd have to use it all the time to get through all the paint.
How much did you say those were?
These are a very, very interesting and expensive item. And I have to go back to my table very quickly here. Berserker Axe is not something I want to give to Avok because he's already dangerous enough.
Yeah, it'd be pointless.
Where is... There we are. This would... This is a specialty item. I generally don't really have a price for it. I see how valuable people feel it is, and then we negotiate for it. So what do you... Something that is this amazing, what would you say would be the value of it?
I don't know. I haven't done much shopping.
We're actually not from around here, are we?
No.
No.
So is that worth like 7 or 8 copper?
No, it'd be
Oh.
much, much more expensive than anything else I've shown you thus far.
I see.
I've seen dishonest merchants sell something like this for 75,000, sometimes 100,000 gold pieces. I, Sven, would never overcharge you for anything like that. Since you are new in town, and you have that very interesting gauntlet, I might be able to let this go for maybe 60,000 gold pieces.
Well, it certainly seems like a wonderful item.
It is. It is one of Sven's specialties. Like I said, you cannot find this anywhere else.
Jerry, can I ask something out of character?
Sure.
How much total did we get?
You got 5,000 platinum pieces, which is the equivalent of 50,000 gold pieces.
Okay, gotcha.
I guess I can also mention...
So my calculations were wrong.
I can also mention... Fade would probably be unfamiliar with this, but Willow and Avok have probably dealt with the idea of bartering. and negotiating. And generally, the price that is given at first from a merchant is well above what he's willing to sell it for. Fade, being a Ladrin, basically could tell people how much he was going to pay for things. So, so yeah, you guys are allowed to negotiate and things like that.
Sure. Are we buying it as a group, or are we splitting this? Each person gets.
Maybe okay. Like obviously, Willow, you're looking for protection stuff. Kata, you mentioned you want like a new weapon.
Yeah, I wanted to look for a new weapon, maybe buy a new shield.
Okay.
Can you use a shield?
Yeah, druids could have shields.
I know they can.
Yeah.
I just didn't know you used one.
I mean, you beast shape all the time, so really your beast shapes are your shield.
I also want some incense and things, but like low
Fair.
price there. But
Fade,
Yeah.
what are you looking for?
Fade wants to strengthen his connection with the Dark Lady as best as he can, and he's probably seen prayer beads before, so he's definitely going to be looking for that. Other than that, I know Fade always has problems with resources, so he'll also take a look at those rings and see if he's got any spell storing type items.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Fair.
You mean the one going around my head at the moment?
Oh, I do, but you don't use it.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
need to give it to
mundane armor.
Willow when we had free time.
Yeah, I need to get mundane armor also at some point.
That's fair. For Avok, the only thing that would ever appeal to him is anything that has to do with, like, unless there's a weapon that is better than his axe, he's not going to care about weapons. Really, there's no armor that appeals to him. I mean, if there's some magic items that boost, like, either his con or his strength, that's really all that will work with him.
There's potions that do that. There's not a ton of magic items in 5th edition that mess with your attributes, other than manuals that are extremely rare and are one-time use things.
I wasn't thinking of manuals. I was thinking of something around the waist.
Oh, I forgot they have belts, don't they?
That would be dope.
Yeah. If you'd like to ask him about that, you can see if he might be able to find one. You don't,
Fair,
you
but
don't
I
see
see-
one.
I know, but I have to be in character, and Avok doesn't know anything about magic items, really. So this is really just.
But again, you guys could just go, you know what I'd like? You know, I'd like something that makes me stronger. Or I like, you know, again, from a former salesman, this is generally what we want. We want you to say, hey, listen, this is what I need, or this is the problem that I need solved, and then we come up with a way to solve it. So,
While that is fair, in Avok's case, he just doesn't care right now. Shopping is the least of his concerns. So really, it's a matter of it has to be natural. Like if you have it like this, have some displayed somewhere that can catch his eye. That's really that's all that's what's going to do it for him.
okay.
Right now, he's not going to ask the salesman anything. He's just standing there, just waiting to get drunk or fight something. That's his mindset.
Oh, what's that one? Oh, that's kind of a cool one. Okay. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, go, Willow. Let's go in that
I
order.
would say we should also look at potions. Already.
I have a nice selection of potions for you. Are you looking potions of healing, potions that maybe change certain aspects of yourself? What kind of potion are you looking for?
Definitely healing. Anyone else? Anything else?
You mentioned before that you looking for potion of, or are you looking for a way to turn invisible? Someone asked a way to turn invisible.
I did.
I have a potion that will allow you to be invisible for
I will give you 500
1
gold
hour.
for it.
For something this impressive, 500 gold is very, very low. I probably would not be able to part with this for anything less than maybe 10,000 gold pieces.
Well, that's a very cool thing. No, thank you.
Well, if you are going to be, if you are pressed for money, I might be able, maybe bring it down to
Well, why wouldn't you just tell me
75.
what?
Well, I want to help you out. You have this cool item that I'm looking for.
Oh, you're a nice
so
guy. You're a nice guy. I like you, Sven.
I'm doing my best here, but you have to give me something,
Good grief. Hey, Swim, give us a second. Fade, come here.
How about those healing potions while they step aside?
Healing potions, much easier for me to deal with.
All right, I take Fade aside. Give us a sec, Jody.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Okay.
He's over showing Willow the various healing potions.
Right, while he's while he's doing that. Okay, yeah.
What's up, big guy?
You're not used to bartering, are you?
Well, what is that? What he was just doing?
Oh man, you got, you still have those little Deladrin habits, that uppity shit. It doesn't work the way you think it works. Pretty much, he's gonna offer you a ridiculous price. You gotta find a way to get it down. Like, you gotta charm the guy in some manner. I don't know.
Okay.
Please don't take the letter away.
Avok just told him I need to charm him. Okay.
Oh no, he took his letter away.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, big guy.
So Willow he's sitting there. He has a drawer full of potions, and they're various sizes and things like that. He's like, these ones here are just your general potions of healing. They are normally about 50 gold a piece. However, if you want to buy multiples of them, I'm willing to make bulk deals. We have greater potions of greater healing, which generally go for 500. Superior healing, which generally goes for around 5,000. But again, if you're willing to, maybe make it with another purchase, I can bring that price down for you. And then superior healing be normally around 10,000 gold pieces. But again, if you want to barter a little bit, I'm willing to maybe. Those are the regular prices I give for everyone else. You guys seem like good guys and you're new in town, so I'll give you the friends and family discount if you're willing to, let me look at the gauntlet, maybe set up a thing where you come to me exclusively for your stuff, maybe tell other people about Sven and how awesome his items are.
So we do all that. You can bump all your prices down. I don't know.
It would be item by item basis. There are certain things that are very difficult for me to make. I can't really cut price on them very much. And other things much easier for me to make. I can cut price on them much more.
Right.
So you tell me what you want. I tell you what most other people pay for it, and then you tell me how much you want to pay for it, and we find somewhere in the middle. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just give us one moment so we can figure out what we're going to buy?
Not a problem at all.
Thank you.
And he trips and falls, and that's going to hurt tomorrow. Oh. I'm okay. That is just I am a funny man. I do the falls for the laughs. That's all. Oh,
do I believe any of this?
What? That he fell on purpose?
Or is he trying to put on a show?
Roll me an insight check.
Actually, I'm gonna roll an insight check as well. Okay, it's not bad.
I mean, this guy just seems too comical to be real.
I rolled an 18 on my insight.
Okay.
So skill
Babe, what'd you
more.
get?
16.
16. You don't think he was being truthful about falling for a laugh. He seems like a bumbling guy.
I'm so confused.
As you
fell.
kind of read him a little bit, again, it's the first time you've ever met the guy. As you read him a little bit, you don't get any sort of malice or anything from what he's doing. You do kind of get the idea that he's making up a lot of this stuff as he goes along. But not out of any sort of malice or anything like that. Looking
Is
around
it
at everything,
probably
you guys
because
are probably
not a
the
lot
first
of people
customers
come
he's
to
had in a
this
while.
store?
Yeah, you guys are probably the first customers he's had in a while. And again, you're asking for kind of specific magic items that, things like, protection items and stuff like that, the military would probably create and provide for soldiers in that, who are the main people that the market would be for. So you're asking for things that not a whole lot of people ask for as well.
Gotcha.
So you don't think he's lying or anything like that, other than about like falling. You just think he's kind of making this up as he goes along, but he does seem genuinely friendly.
Hey Sven, what is it that you say you do here? Like, what's your thing? What are you best at?
One of my best. I am
What are you
best at
known
making
for?
the best magic items in all of the Verdant Empire, and making the best looking magic items. Like, I customize all my magic items for you. You just tell me, I have armor called glamour armor that I sold to a woman, and I put juicy on the butt because that's what she wanted. And
Oh my goodness.
I make the things so that they look exactly the way you want them to. So you look badass while you're being super cool adventurer types. Yes.
That does sound pretty BA.
It is. Yes. I was not like the whole thing. Like, I was reluctant because I didn't want to get sued for maybe false advertising when people saw on that particular woman. But whatever, she paid for it. So, I mean, it was her who was false advertising, not me. I was paid to put the juicy on the butt. But
Jesus.
Is the porter in the store with us?
he was for a while. He kind of stepped outside after watching Sven fall over himself a couple of times.
Okay, so then step over into the corner, just the four of us.
Okay. I'll be over here when you want to buy anything at all. Literally anything in the shop, I will sell to you.
Okay. Well, what do you need? Please say something quickly.
I think we should get some healing potions. I would love one of the folks, but I don't know. This is a lot of money for me to be spending, and I don't know if we want to buy it here or if we want to go anywhere else. So please, someone say something.
Okay. Fed, you got anything? My head hurts right now.
I turn around and over my shoulder ask, "Do you have anything that a cleric would use, like in the military or anything like that?"
Cleric, let's see.
With my back to him, I'm looking over and ask him that.
Let's see. For clerics, I have shields. Doesn't look like you carry a shield.
Nope,
So
I don't.
So I could show you shield, or let's see. I don't tend to keep the holy symbols around because, the temples, they kind of take care of that, and the whole blessing of the holy symbols and things like that. They are. It's not something I specialize in.
Okay, thanks. No, I don't think I need anything with them.
But I can get you. I can get you one. I have friends in any temple. What kind of holy symbol are you looking for?
I'm not quite sure yet. I'll ask around to my fellows.
Okay, well, I can get you anything. I just don't carry them in stock because we are pretty far away from the Temple District, and so not a lot of people come in asking for it. But I can get it for you. You ask people around. Sven's the guy that can get everything for you.
You sound amazing. I believe you. 100% believe you.
I believe me too. My wife believed me for a little.
I turn and look at Willow. So healing potions is what you want?
I mean, and maybe
That's what I want.
and maybe the cloak, but I don't know if it's. I don't know anything about.
Okay, I go up to the counter. We want the cloak that she's looking at, and we want some healing potions.
The cloak. The cloak is very, very nice.
Do you want the good one or the cheap one?
Which one? Which one were you?
Show me the one in the back. The one you're talking about.
The one in the back. You'll have to wait for like 2 minutes because it's far in the back. Is that okay? And you're not going to steal anything while I'm in the back?
Of course not. I look at the sun. 2 minutes. Go!
Oh! Then in that and he runs. You hear another crash and boy, Chichka, no, that was. Oh, that's going. She's going to be mad. And he goes into the back. You hear just things crashing and breaking and things like that. And eventually comes back out. I got it. It's the cloak, and it looks very beautiful. And it makes your defense better by 2. If I was to put a number to the defense.
Will it fit me?
That is the most interesting thing about magic items is they actually right now you look at it and it will fit you like 3 times. Like you could stand on top of yourself 3 times and it fit you then.
Yeah.
But once you attune to this magic item, it actually shrinks to fit you or grows if the big boy here wanted to use it. You would grow to fit him. Though why he would ever want to cover up all of that, I would never know, but...
Okay. Well, so that, and how many
You said
healing potions do we want, and what kind?
potions of healing is what you wanted?
Oh, yeah.
I assume we don't want basic.
I mean,
All
All of
if
them
you have a
are
basic,
useful.
then anyone can put
Standard
one in
potion
a
of
base.
healing is 2d4 plus 2. Greater is 4d4 plus 4. Superior is 84 plus 8. And then supreme is really high that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Don't worry about it. Too expensive.
That's 20d4.
Yeah, that's why it's expensive.
What are the 2 low ends? What are those going to run us?
Regular
50
potions of
and
healing
500.
are standardized. They're 50 gold. And he said if you buy them in bulk, he'll knock money off.
And then greater 500.
Yeah.
So then, if I were to buy a bunch of these things, I would need a place to put them. Do you have any way to solve my space issue?
I know exactly what you're looking for. I have 2 things. The first thing, I must just show you this. Okay, look at this. Look at this. And he goes into the back, and you hear crash, clank, clank, crash, crash, clank. Okay, look at this. You see the bag? You see it open up? This looks like what Sven calls Sven's magic bag that you put lots of stuff in. But it's not. See what this is this is Sven's magic bag that you put things in and they never come back out and it tries to eat you every so often.
Oh my!
Yes,
That would be like devouring.
yes, this is not something that I sell to people for themselves. But if you have someone maybe that likes to take things from you and you go, oh no, I just bought this very new expensive bag. Please, no one take it from me. And then he comes up and he takes it. He's like, ha 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 ha! I have taken your thing. And then he goes in and then he's eaten by the bag.
Well,
So that's
maybe not
something-
so much the one that would eat my stuff. What?
Yes,
what
no,
that
this
we
is
could
just
put?
this is not for. I like show people this.
Oh,
because
okay.
It shows how good Sven is. It
That's
make
terrifying,
it.
Sven. Why would you have that?
Because I bought it from a dwarf.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
very vindictive. I found out about. He didn't tell me that's what it was. I found out about it on my own. I just happened to be very quick that day. That was before I had padding. Anyway, so this is Sven's magical bag that you put lots of stuff in. And this one, because this is because you are nice people, this I can give you for 500 gold pieces.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And I guess I'm supposed to charm you to make the price lower. How do you get me a lower price for the thing that wink wink? Can you make it lower? How much would you make it lower if I showed you my glove?
You are very new to this, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, my
I mean,
friend,
no,
my
I am
friend,
not.
my friend. And he just puts his arm around you. Goes, my friend, my friend, my friend.
Is he stealing my things? I don't trust him.
No, he's just
Okay.
patting you, and he's like, my friend, my friend, my friend. I normally don't
I kiss
do
him on the
that.
cheek.
You are lucky my wife is not here today. She gets very mad when I do this. I am supposed to be making profit on these things, and I do not. Okay, for the what were you looking for again?
Well, the cool cloak
You want
that
the
says
good
juicy
cloak?
for her.
And you
And
want me
then
to write juicy on it? Because
No,
I can
no,
write
no.
I
juicy.
look at Will.
No,
What about
Okay,
like
no.
super cool small wizard? Like, I mean, I have
That's
limited
okay.
canvas since he's going to shrink, but
Sure.
Actually, no. She wanted to do that herself. So let's
Oh,
put
okay.
that, and let's put like 4 of those potions in the bag, and then the bag would cost not 500 gold.
Well, how does this sound? The bag I give to you for 500 gold. The potions I will just toss into the bag for free. So you get 4 potions of healing plus the bag for 500 gold.
And then you said that cloak was 7,000 gold, huh? Is that a lot?
Normally 7,000 gold is what most people would pay for something like this. Since you are a little bit new to this, I go down to maybe 4,500 gold.
And then what if I let you inspect my glove?
Make me a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Okay, 17.
17. If you let me inspect your glove, I could bring it down to, let's say, 3,000 gold pieces for the cloak.
I tell you what, we'll just give you the 4 or the 5, and we'll be on our way.
Wait, what?
So
He wanted
you
45
don't
for
want
the
the
cloak, and then 5 for the
5,000.
bag, with 4 potions for free.
All right, so you want the bag, the potions, and the cloak?
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a great deal, Sven. I
Okay.
want to make your acquaintance here. Let's get our first deal done.
All right, okay. So did you want any sort of customization on the bag? Like, I'm a super cool guy, or you know what they say about Eladrin with long ears, or
Can you put
anything
custom
like that?
engraving on the potions? Can you put like secret sauce on it or something
I mean,
for one of them?
could. I mean, that
Okay.
would be much. I mean, they're glass bottles. Once you drink the potion, the glass bottle will still say the same thing.
All right. Well, maybe next time. Okay.
No, I can do it. It'd take me 5 minutes. It's very easy.
No, I don't want to waste your time. Let's
No,
just
it's
get.
not
Let's,
a waste. I do it for you. I put secret sauce in the potion bottles. It's not a problem.
who's holding the money? Because it's not me.
Ava.
That's me.
Hey, Ava, can we?
All right, so
Ava,
grand
take the man.
total, we
Take
have
the man.
500 for that. We have 4,500 for the cloak. So $5,000. $5,000. I don't know what a dollar
and
is.
then
5,000 gold
4 of
pieces
the
even.
greater potions in the bag would be awesome. Thank
Greater,
you.
but I meant the regular
I
potions for
don't
greater.
think that's what you said.
No, I was doing the regular potions for free.
Oh,
The,
my
the
friend,
greater
Sven,
potions are
you're
much
killing
more
me.
expensive.
Sven, I thought we were gonna make a deal.
You know what? For this specific instance, because you are you are, paying full price for the cloak, I will put the 4 potions of greater healing in for free. But you do not tell Sven's wife. Because
What is your wife's name?
Natalia.
Natalia. Of course, we would not tell her anything like that. Of course not.
She will be very cross with me because I'm supposed to be selling them at a profit, and now I'm selling them at a loss. But you seem like good
Sven,
guys.
you're the best. 5,000 gold. Here, Ava, pay the man.
Okay, 5,000. How
Give him
many?
5 platinum. Or 50 platinum.
I was about to say,
5 platinum.
how about
5.
500 platinum?
Yeah.
That'd be 500 platinum.
Yeah.
I realize
All right.
moving the decimal point one place over is a difficult form of math.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I have a
so-
leg up. I studied accounting.
Luckily, Avoc smart enough to count. So 500 platinum.
So you guys get 4 portions of greater healing, a bag of holding, and a cloak of protection +2.
Nice.
Can I try to handshake Sven with my non-gauntleted hand?
It'll be weird because it'll be your left hand.
Oh, for sure.
He'll reach his right hand out, and you'll put your left hand out. And he's like, "Oh, you're left-handed. I'm not. This is a little bit awkward, but no, that's good. It's good." So now I get to look at this, right?
Oh, no. Remember, that was going to bring the price down to 3. We're going to do that next time, maybe, I think. Probably not, though.
Now I am feeling taken advantage of because you said that you are a tricksty one. You made me think that you didn't know what you were doing, but you in fact did know what you were doing.
I'm supposed to charm you, and I didn't want to do it magically, so I give him another little kiss on the cheek as we leave.
You totally just swindled this guy.
Yep.
You ass.
Yep.
See if I give you good price on magic items again. Damn.
Does anyone else realize what just happened? Probably not Kata because she's dumb as a brick, but
No,
No, I realized that Fade is a lot. The DM just realized that Fade is a lot more shrewd than he let on, and that is
I
impressive.
rolled a 17. I had to play it.
The 17 is what dropped it down to $3,000.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm saying you as a player are very shrewd, and I am impressed.
I apologize. I wasn't trying to.
No.
be too shitty.
I am very impressed. I thought you guys were not getting this at all, and you played that perfectly. I am very impressed.
So, Sven, do you have any weaponeers that or weaponsmiths that you would like to give our business to? We're looking to rearm ourselves.
You went and swindled me.
We certainly don't need to come back here if you're going to hold a grudge. I thought you were a businessman.
Just give me a second to take all of this into account. I do stock because the weaponsmiths in general they forge the weapons, but they need someone with magical skills to imbue the weapons with magic. So I do carry a few magical weapons and things like that. If you're looking for something more specialized, I can send out for it. But the smiths in general are not really going to be able to sell you magic items. You're generally going to have to go to someone with arcane talent and have them work with a smith. I have a smith I work with. His name is, remarkably enough, his name is Smith. And I asked him about this once, and I said, you're a smith and your name is Smith. Did you ever, did you do this on purpose? And then he said, no, my first name is Charlie. I don't know why you call me Smith. But, he's a very good friend of mine. So was there a specific kind of item you were looking for?
Yeah, I've seen swords before. Our young friend over here probably doesn't need anything heavy. Is there like a lightweight weapon that flows nicely? I believe I've seen something like that called a skimmiatar or something like that. I don't know.
Hey, don't you be doing that. I know what you're doing here.
I
can find you a scimitar. Is there
Producer,
Actually,
please.
I had a man in here 2 months ago. He come because if you find magic items, you don't want the magic items. You can come to Sven and I trade you magic items. Sometimes I buy magic items off people, or perhaps you give me a magic item, I give you other magic items. He decided to pay with. Let me go find it for you. Give me one moment.
Oh, of
And
course.
he runs off again, and you hear another crash and bang. He goes, "Oh yeah, boy!" And he comes back, and he has this scimitar. He goes, "Watch what I can do with these." Okay, so he takes the scimitar in one hand, and he goes over to a part of the shop you guys hadn't really seen before because there was papers and stuff in the way. And you can see like a wooden training dummy there. Watch this. And he swings the scimitar, and as he cuts, and the swing is just god awful. But then, faster than you think should be possible, he twists his wrist around and comes back and does a second attack really, really quickly. Like, this is a magic item I call Sven's super, super quick slice 'em, dice 'em sword.
I hope you get patents on these names, man.
I'm working on that. It is surprising how hard it is to get patents on names and trademarking these names, because like I submit the trademarks every day. I'm like, this is the name of the magic items, and then they go, no, that magic item exists and it's called this. But I'm like, no, but mine is more special because my blade is purple, and then the blades changes to the color purple. See, and that makes it a different magic item because it's a purple, and it is made by Sven, and so you can't say that this was made by Sven, can you? Well, no.
Kael, do you want to take a look at this
See, that's
thing?
what it is. Here, Phil, go ahead, try it out. Give it a swing.
Okay.
You get the idea. I think it requires attunement, unfortunately, but you kind of get the idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Just from holding it for a little bit, because you're in a magic place. QRS. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. That's a cool one. You get a +2 bonus to attack and damage roll made with this magic weapon. In addition, you can make one attack with it as a bonus action on each of your turns. We call it a scimitar of Stuped. Or, as it's better known, Sven's really cool sword of cutting things very quickly.
Much
You notice
better
that the name never seems to say the same. That has nothing to do with medication making it impossible for me to remember anything. So, do you like these magic swords? It's a very nice magic sword, right?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, no, she doesn't like it. What is the best price
You
you can
have
give it to
riddled
her
me
for?
once.
I walk away. Fade walks away. He's
So,
done.
this is
So we're
this is a
doing
very
that now.
this is a very special magic item, because I'm assuming Kata, you're still there.
Yes, I'm still there.
Right, so
I'm
this
just
is a very
figuring
special
out what's going
magic
on.
item.
Well,
This
it's not
one normally would run. It's a very rare. I actually have there's actual rules for what stuff like this stuff costs. Yeah, and I'm not overcharging you guys that much.
No?
This one, because it's very special, probably normally would run around 10,000 gold pieces. But if you can get your friend to let me look at his gauntlet, I will cut the price in half for you. I will give you scimitar for 5,000 gold pieces. That is the best I can do. I cannot go any lower than that.
Sound good for me.
All right, but you have to get your friend to let me look at his gauntlet.
Please, Fade.
Fade's outside. He left.
I hold this for you. You can go get him. I'll hold this right here for you. It's not. You're my first customers of the day, maybe even the week. So I hold this for you. You don't have to worry about someone else buying it.
All right. Well,
One of
yeah,
you go
you
cook
hold
me
on.
some.
Just hold yourself, Willow, Kanto. Let's go get Fade.
Okay.
And
What one
Avon
last?
proceeds to lead both of you out of the shop.
Will was going to try and buy incense, but you have all the money.
As you pass by Avok, you notice a flyer that's actually posted next to the door that just kind of catches your eye, and it says Tournament of Champions, Platinum Prize, and then you go out the door.
Did I see that as well?
What's your passive perception?
12.
Yeah, you would have seen it. Anyone with a passive
Yeah,
perception above 10 would have seen it.
Yeah, I saw it too, but I
As you grab it, he
can't
goes,
read
"Oh wait,
it,
I need
but-
that for its advertisement. I need to keep that in the shop. I have smaller flyer I can give you, but I need that one by the door. They pay me 10 gold
walks
for
over and takes the smaller pamphlet and then walks
it.
out.
Are you interested in the Tournament of Champions this year? It is looking to be very good. I will be in the stands.
What?
I will be in the stands for it. It is they happen every year. You come to town at the perfect time. It is only 4 days away, and preliminaries are because in order to fight in Contest of Champions, you have to prove that you know how to fight. So preliminaries are going all the way up to the start date. So if you wanted to join it, I can tell you about the tournament if you're not familiar with it.
Just the pamphlet will be fine. I don't know if we are not, but I thought it was interesting.
I'll be holding the scimitar for your friend.
Thank you. Yeah, so I take the pamphlet and walk outside to Avok and say, I think you could probably use it.
And it says basically, it has the date. It says, Platinum Prize for the champion. It's got two, pretty badass looking dudes. One with just a massive sword. Another one with a staff with just energy pulsating from it.
I'll think about it. All right, so I'm assuming we all walked a little further away from the shop, so
Wherever Fade went off to after he left.
I'm looking for the porter.
Okay,
he
good.
was waiting just outside for you guys.
All right.
All right.
I tell him, the porter, about prayer beads, which I've seen in either of the 3 temples that I trained in. I told him, where can we go for that?
Well, you would normally go to the temple honoring the specific deity you wish to pray to.
Is there another option? I was kind of told to not go there.
Well, what deity are you hoping to?
Yeah, I can't really say.
We worship all of the gods here. There's no.
Isn't Fade wearing his tabard?
What?
Isn't Fade wearing his tabard?
I think so.
Yeah, so shouldn't they have tipped off the porter?
Tink tink.
The porter is overly polite. And you get the idea that he's used to not seeing things that he's not supposed to see. So
I'll just think the image.
Oh, well, certainly there is a temple to the Dark Lady. There are some more unsavory types that visit it, but there are pious people that visit it as well. The temple itself is not a dangerous place or anything like that. Just, I would ensure you know who it is that you're talking to when you ask for the prayer beads. Is all. The staff of the temple tend to be, they call themselves the Death Watchers, and they hold the sanctity of the passage of life into death very highly.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for that information. Do we have this porter's name?
No one's asked.
I asked him.
It's Samuel, sir.
Samuel, thank you for that information. I assume at this point everyone walks out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we catch up to you. Oh god, I'm so glad to be out of that fucking shot. That guy was so annoying.
Willow is
DM
pulling
has
on
a
her
single
cloak.
tear go down his cheek.
He is out of earshot.
No, the DM has a single tear go down his cheek because he created such a cool shopkeeper that you don't like.
No, as players, we love Stan. As characters.
Yeah. You know when I do the voice, I make it. Yeah.
Kata likes him.
Willow is pulling on the cloak, even though it is still sizes too big, is just standing there kind of tying it around and trying to pull the cloak over, and it's too long, and then she's putting it back, and is just very not sure what to do.
You think once it shrinks in, it'll look really cool.
Oh, sure.
But
Sure.
right
Who's
now,
holding
yeah.
the bag of holding?
And Kata.
I assume
like
you
the
were. You
DM,
paid
like
for it.
the little servant.
Yeah, you've got it.
Oh, okay. I guess I have it.
Yeah, you got all the cash.
So you can put the money in it too.
Yeah, fair. Well, it's been. I have a backpack as well, but yeah, I can get rid of that, I guess.
Put your backpack in the bag of holding if you want.
Yeah,
I thought at one
yeah.
point I gave you guys a bag of holding, but it might have left with one of the players.
I don't recall, but yeah. Anywho, so yeah,
It might have been my other group.
That's fair. So yeah, Ivak looks at window. Okay, why don't we just stick this in here and then we'll deal with that later.
What are you sticking in there?
Your cloak, because
Oh, I was tying it on my...
He rips it off of her, and she's like hugging
You
it.
pick up
Oh, okay.
Willow as she's like,
Yeah, from me.
sorry. Okay. Did you guys find which
you see Kanta doing the whole thing, like, despite the fact that her ears don't go back,
She really wants
just
this
sitting
sword.
there.
She just walked out on it.
she has that whole cat look. You almost expect her to start purring.
Right.
I know that I wanted to go to a Monday armor shop. Let's go look and see if they have weapons and stuff at like an armor or weaponsmith.
Well, if that guy says what he says is true, then really we're just gonna find mundane armor. You're probably better off just looking for another place like that. Just
In
with a
general,
less
at a smithy, you're probably going to find mundane armor and then masterwork armor, which is non-magical but is the equivalent of +1 armor and weapons. So it's not magical. It's just super well made.
Let's tell the porter about like a sword for Kata and see what he thinks for where he thinks we should go.
So the porter comes
Yeah.
up to you.
Samuel,
Yes, you have a question for me.
Kata, did you like the feel of that thing in there?
Yeah, it really cool. Though he said he cut the price down if you let him borrow your gauntlet for a little while.
Oh yeah, that was just I was trying to charm him with it. Yeah, this is not mine to show around. I can't. I'm sorry. That's not a thing that's gonna ever happen. Unless I'm dead.
We'll find you
So
something.
Kata, you know what you need to do. I believe Earth Elemental trumps Cleric.
Dude, let's arena that right now. Ava can go arena something.
We have a 4-way battle.
You forget, I had a way to kill all of you planned out for months.
That was before you met me.
Fair.
Which Willow just sits there. Counterspell. Counterspell.
Exactly.
Counterspell. Oh, what was that? Counterspell.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have so many spell slots? Counterspell.
Wizards fan.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, okay. All right. So yeah, I guess we'll just find a better shot that for yeah. Since that's what we're doing, I guess. Hell, maybe I could find something. I don't know. I didn't see really anything as far as I could tell from that place. Maybe there's something. Let's go. Come on. Samuel, lead on. Whatever.
Well,
Fuck
I
off.
need to know where I'm going, sir.
Uh,
I'm
Shop
more
further
than
down.
happy to lead you on to wherever you would prefer to be led on to, unless you are specifically referring to leading you on, and in that case, I have a husband, so I would not be leading any of you on.
I look at Avok. Is this one of those times where I need to charm him? Is he bartering?
No.
Okay, 1, fuck you, Fade. 2, Samuel, just shop better than what we just came out of. That's all.
Certainly, it will be this way.
Okay,
Sure.
Sorry about that. That was my fault, guys. I wanted to go there. I wanted to see what the other half lives like.
And he was the coolest shopkeeper I've ever created.
No,
Dude, I'm
obviously.
fully going back to him all the time.
Obviously.
We're gonna have a thing.
Samuel leads you guys through the city again. Again, it takes roughly about an hour to get to one of the more populated areas, or one of the more affluent areas, and marks you into a shop that's very, very like you see glass cases everywhere, and it's very, very tidy. And you see a few Eladrin kind of walking around and just looking at things, and you see a man with kind of this kind of sun bleached blonde hair almost, wearing very flowing robes, and it looks almost as if there's just this constant wind about him, like his hair is constantly being tousled, and you can see little his cloak and robes just kind of ruffle in some wind. And as he comes in, oh, hello there. So lovely to see you all here. My name is Percival. What can I do for you in my lovely establishment here?
Describe the sword we're looking for, and comment on how wonderful his cloak looks. You know, a sword for her.
Oh, you're
Something
looking
her
for a
size.
specific sword for this small one. You look quite small. No, this is not an insult or anything like that. It's simply an observation. You are quite a small, petite young lady there. So probably not looking for something large like a great sword or anything like that, I'm assuming.
no, I'm looking for light curvy sword.
Oh, you're looking for a scimitar. Well, I generally do not deal with weapons or anything like that. I'm more of a clothing connoisseur, but I certainly could look into what a custom order of something like that would cost. What any specific magical properties you'd be looking for in something like that? Just would you like it silvered? Would you like it magically enhanced?
Magic enhance would be good.
Okay, well, a simple enhanced. I would probably call it, if I were to put a numerical value on the enhancement, I would call it a +1 scimitar. I would say that would probably run around. Where's my little chart? About 1,000 gold pieces for that.
I look at the others to make sure it's okay this time.
You do what you want. I just wasn't gonna let the guy look at my glove. You can spend whatever you want to spend.
Okay. We have deal.
All right. Well, it will take. Let me see. I'll have to contact one of my Smith friends. It will take approximately 2 days for me to get the Thwitar in and enchanted correctly and everything like that. Will that be okay for you?
Yes, I think we have more than enough time for that.
Okay. My general policy is I'll take 10% now for to hold the item for you and to get it enchanted and everything, and you can pay the remaining 90% when you actually come and pick up the item. So for that, it would simply be 100 gold pieces for the order itself today, and then you would pay the remaining 900 when you pick up the item in a few days. How does that sound to you?
That sounds okay. I I count out 100 gold.
Perfect. And I will simply need a name to hold it
Uh,
under.
Kata.
Kata. It's a very lovely name. It's a unique name. It's not one I've heard around here before. To be honest, it's been a while since I've seen a druid around here. They've been spending most of their time out in the wilds. They don't tend to come into the magic shops as much as they used to. So it's lovely to see a newer generation getting into druidism. It's a bit of a dying art in my personal belief. So, yes, so I have that there, and the transaction is completed. Was there something else that you were looking for?
Can Avok do a perception check around the shop?
Sure. Roll me a
Thank
perception check.
That is a 21.
Lots of cloaks. Is there anything specific you're looking for? Or just getting a lay of what you see?
I guess just getting like what I see at this point.
Okay. Lots of cloaks. You can see some jewelry, a few potions. You don't see a single weapon in the entire shop. And you do see some bits of armor and things like that, but they're not really like everything in here looks very aesthetically pleasing, which you know from experience. Armor in general, aesthetics is not generally a huge part of armor.
Yeah.
So everything in here has specifically been tailored to make it look aesthetically pleasing.
Gotcha. Fancy stuff. Stupid question, I guess. I mean, look at me. Is there anything that goes with this? And just points out, just.
That's a lovely question. Let's see. Perhaps something that would cover up. Well, I mean, it's not that it's not impressive or anything like that. It's just you don't seem to be wearing much. I have shirts and things like that that would definitely, make you more presentable in polite company. Or perhaps something more than the short shorts that you are wearing. Perhaps some trousers, a full suit. I could get you a full suit made for you that would look very dashing on you.
Avok just takes out his hand axe and just uses it has a position like a cane, or how just leaning
just
on
kind
it.
of leans on it.
Okay, let me give you a better example of what I'm talking about, and just flaunts the axe a bit. Just does that give you any idea?
Well, I'm hoping you're not intending to use that on anything in here, because I think that would end poorly for everyone. The guards are just outside, and I move very, very quickly. I know I look like this robe would, but I move very quickly like a cat.
I get it. You're magical. Okay.
So by the time you would hit me with your very large and menacing axe, the guards would be in here.
Not going to hit you.
Oh, well, then why did you take out your weapon? It's rather rude to brandish your weapon against someone, especially when they're just trying. I sell clothing and magic trinkets and things like that, not weapons or anything. I mean, for the
Oh,
most part,
speaking of trinkets,
weapons
Okay.
are the market for them is just not here. Um,
Okay, then, as in not in this shop.
well, not in this city. The war is so far away. Very few people have any need of weapons here, other than for the Tournament of Champions. And to be perfectly honest, the champions they have very specific custom built. Most of them have personal smiths and personal enchanters and things like that. They get their weapons custom made. It would well, the champions do. The normal riffraff that get in every year that kind of get eliminated within the first few rounds, they may be wearing more mundane things. But if you want to get anywhere in it, most of them have their own personal smiths and enchanters and things like that. They're the
We
only
don't.
people that really buy weapons here, and it only happens once a year.
Thank you, Percival. We don't need to waste any more of your time. Thank you.
Oh, it's certainly not a waste of my time. It's not in my wheelhouse. Is all it
Of
is.
course. Of course.
That's all I need
Thank
to
you.
know. Thank you. Avok walks.
There's a bye.
I'm sorry. It's been a rough day.
If he is looking for more defensive items in nature, most of the shops around here are more for aesthetics or for utility type uses, things that allow you to levitate or lift heavy objects, things like that.
Okay.
If he's looking for something with a little bit more of a combat expertise, he may want to try one of the shops outside of Alanduil. It's closer to one of the fronts. Or speaking with the military itself, they may be able to recommend their particular supplier for more weapons of war and things like that.
Thank you.
Not a problem, miss. I do hope I have not ruffled any feathers or made that very large refrigerator-shaped man angry in any way, shape, or form.
Refrigerator?
It's a term I heard once. He's a very large man, very
That is true.
big, and he
But
has
I
a
am a
very
very
big,
small
sharp
person.
axe. Like you could fit like 2 or 3 of you inside of him. He's very big.
Yes. Yes.
Very quick to, and and looked very heavy, and he just picked it up and put it down. It's a very intimidating thing to do.
does Fade see any flasks or jugs in this room?
At first glance, no.
Okay.
But if you want to look for him, make an investigation check.
Investigation is a fatty +2. That rolls a 4.
So you're looking, like you're opening cases and things like that, and trying to find stuff, and eventually goes, "Is there something I can help you find?"
Yeah. The big scary guy. He usually calms down when he gets alcohol. I want to give him as much alcohol as humanly possible. Hey, did I mention we're humans, or some of us are? And that should probably be something that you want to help with, because humans are the best, right? Right, friend?
Certainly. But you're not human.
No. I'm their agent. I brought them here.
I was about to say your ears look slightly too pointed to be human. But no, there's this small little girl with obviously a human. Perhaps a little bit underfed. You should probably get her somewhere. Maybe an all-you-can-eat buffet or something like that. She's all skin and bones, that one.
Oh, indeed.
But as far as well, let's see what I can find. I believe I've got something here. Again, that's not really my expertise, but I have some friends that I could possibly send you to. Let me look through my book here for just a moment. F comes before H in the alphabet, doesn't it? Oh, but I comes after age, doesn't it? I'm really good at this. I swear to you.
Oh, Percival, your shop is amazing.
I think my shop is just lovely. There we go. What was that called? Starts with an
Alchemy
A.
jug?
Hold, please. I'm really, really good at this. I promise. You wouldn't believe that I have like 2,000 hours worth of DMing experience. I can't remember where half the crap in this thing is. There we go. Um, well, this is something that has been popular with some of the housewives that I've dealt with. Um, there's an item called an alchemy jug, and there are quite a few different things you can get out of it. For the housewives, I talk about things like you can get water in it, or oil, or things like that that they can use around the house. And then when the wives are busy looking through it, I go to the husbands and like, oh, also you can create 4 gallons of beer out of it every day.
Well, that sounds interesting for the housewives and the husbands of the housewives. How much would you want for something like that?
For an alchemy jug, that would, well, let's see. Give
Now remember, it's to make the big scary human man happy.
make a persuasion check. Or
Oh
rather, I'm going to say this is an intimidation check.
boy. Okay.
I will never underestimate Mike.
Nope. Nope. That's a 3. I rolled a 3 on
Okay.
intimidation. I'm
Yes.
more oblivious.
For the big scary man, it would probably be about 1,500 gold.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now, I was told recently that I need to charm you to get a better price. Can we do that now?
That would
And I wink at him.
That would be my most charming price.
Oh.
Yes, for
I look at Willow. Is this guy not a shopkeeper? I thought they were supposed to give us a better price.
you can start seeing him getting more kind of uptight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Okay.
Is there anything else I could help you with?
Oh no, I fully buy it. I does anyone have any money on them at all, other than Avok, who just left with it all? I know I don't.
I've never had any money.
One
Okay,
of you guys
Elliot.
had gems from the Dwarven City on you.
Elaine had them all.
Oh.
Okay.
Elaine's just following quietly.
I thought we split them up.
You
You
guys
could
can,
have had your share.
you guys can split the money, or you can use it as party funds, however you want. I'm not going to make a big deal about making sure that you guys have all the money.
Then let's just say you have it.
Yeah.
I buy it. I buy the jug. I put 1,500 gold pieces, and I buy the thing.
Well, it'll be 150 gold pieces now. I don't currently have.
Oh,
one in
for
stock.
God's sakes! You're not a shopkeeper, and you don't stock anything. I love
No,
you and your shop, but I have to leave now, and I leave.
Will it be available when the scimitar is available?
To be perfectly honest, it's easier to create than the scimitar. I could have it in by tomorrow morning, but your friend was so quick to leave.
I'll take
scared
you back,
you should
and
think.
I put it up on the counter. Well, we can pick it up when we pick up the scimitar. Thank you.
Fine.
I'm
Should
sorry.
I leave it under the same name, Kata? She seemed like the reasonable one of the party.
Yes, that's fine.
Fine, I will have this all waiting for Kata.
Thank you.
Is there a chance I could find his name so I can avoid him?
Which one? The big one or
The Aladrin with the stick so far up his butt.
We're
Sorry,
not
I shouldn't be saying
from-
things like that.
from around here? I'm sorry. It's
That okay? Some of us think that of him
it's been
too.
a rough life. Yes, a rough life. So don't hold it against him.
And he comes over and he just kind of reaches down pretty far to pat you on the shoulder. You've been to the front, haven't you? Yes,
Many.
it can be quite an experience. When in my youth, I I traveled to the front, and it was a horrible experience.
Slowly taking just a couple steps back.
Yes, I was there, and I was actually at the Arqueous front, and there were fishmen everywhere, and they were shooting jets of water, and then the changelings came, and you would be fighting alongside your best friend, only to find out he was a changeling, and then I'd have to turn him into a newt, and it was
A newt.
just, it was so sad. Frederick.
Such a silly thing.
Yes, it was very sad. I actually have no idea what happened to Frederick. I don't think he was always a changeling. And then I was wounded rather severely. I can show you and by this time I'm assuming you're gone. I can show you oh, they're gone. Now
Probably just flesh wound.
And he goes, you don't see this, but he goes back to the counter. So you guys are outside. It's getting, you guys have been in the Feywild long enough that you started to recognize the kind of changing color of the sky to that kind of purplish indigo color, that it's becoming more nighttime, or it's getting later in the day, and you should probably start looking for accommodations.
Okay. Okay. That was a waste of time. Samuel.
Yes, sir?
Okay. Clearly that was not the place for us to go. Me specifically. You know what? I'm at this point, you know what? I am determined to get something for myself. But it has to be something that works for me.
Tell me specifically what you're looking for, I can get you to the right shop. When you just give me broad generalizations, I don't have much to work with, is the issue.
What are you looking for, Ava?
I don't know, just... I'm a big guy. I want to be stronger. I want to be tougher. I want better things to beat up people with. That is what I do. Find that!
What I have heard of a belt or something that makes you stronger.
You can roll a history check or arcana check. Sure.
17.
You're aware that there were certain high-ranking Eladrin families that
Sorry, 21.
Oh, in that
Yes.
case, there were certain high-ranking Eladrin families that the children of the family were not gifted enough in warfare to make it into really anything, and so they would use a belt of giant strength to kind of give them a little bit more strength, make them more useful, so they could get through their military service and then kind of go back to just being nobles, because everybody has to serve for a little bit. Yeah, you're familiar. There are multiple versions of it, and they were incredibly rare, to the point where only the wealthiest families could afford something like that, and the Eladrin that used them never would ever openly admit that they were using it.
Sure, but that was the Kael Isles, and who knows here?
Yeah. Again, magic in general was slightly different there.
Yeah. I remember from where we're from that there are belts that gave you strength of giants, or just...
Oh,
have you heard of something like that?
To be perfectly honest, items of that nature are generally held by the military for military use. They are very difficult to come by. They're not easily created. You have to have very powerful wizards to be able to do it, and it requires giants, which are in very short supply here in the Feywild. So if you were looking for something like that, you would probably need to speak with the military.
Okay.
they would have access to things like that. They generally don't allow the common populace to have things like that, just to avoid accidents happening or things like that. The war really, to be perfectly honest, most people don't even know the war's going on here in the Landwill. They stay very protected from all of that. The war is so far away that they know it's happening, but it never really affects their lives.
No,
I'm sorry, Bach.
fuck it. No, fuck it. Okay, just. That's it. Tavern. Just nearest tavern. Give me a fucking drink. That's it. I'm done. Fuck this shit.
Certainly. And he very quickly kind of wanders off, and this time doesn't kind of wait for you guys to see if you're following. He just kind of starts going.
After a moment, Willow follows, but just kind of very...
And then he comes back. He's like, very sorry. Didn't realize you weren't following me. It's this way. And eventually he gets to, he brings you to a relatively opulent looking inn. And as you come in, he goes up to the front desk area, speaks to them and goes, Her Majesty the Eternal Empress has paid for your lodgings for a week for you to get your bearings. After that point, unfortunately, you will have to find your own way to pay for your lodgings and things like that. However, if you go to the outer districts of the city, there is always work for people clearing out monsters, or if you want to get contracts from the military, they're always looking for mercenaries. They pay fairly well for things like that. And obviously, if you have any skills of your own, you can attempt to make a living that way as well. But you will have a room here. I assumed you wanted at least 2 rooms.
That would be lovely, thank you.
Well, you will have 2 rooms here for you, or 2 suites rather, and they will give you the keys at the front desk. I unfortunately have other duties that I must attend to. If you are in need of a porter again, you are more than welcome to, at the front desk, request one. Unfortunately, the Queen has only employed my services for today, so you will have to pay for the services of another porter later. But the front desk will be more than happy to direct you anywhere that you need to go. I do hope your day gets better. It's been lovely serving you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
Goodbye.
you, Simon.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Yes. And he walks away.
I need a drink.
And you hear from the front desk, we've got a bar. It's right over there, miss. And they stock your first night. Again, you've been paid full rear, so if you'd like to go over there, you can have drinks are on the house tonight, or rather,
Thank you.
drinks are on the Empress tonight.
Oh, the Empress is paying big time.
I would ask. We happen to have a very good relationship with Her Majesty. We'd prefer to not present her with a bill that will get her cross with us. So moderation is your friend, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, Ava goes to the bar. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna give me 5 bottles of your hardest shit, and you know what? Here's a little platinum for you. On me, not the Empress.
And The barkeep, which is this kind of small woman, goes, certainly, sir. Let me find something for you. Is there a particular kind of smashed you were thinking of getting? Because we've got things like firewater and things that'll burn as they go down, and things that'll go down smooth, and things that'll just get you shit-faced. So what kind of things are you looking for?
The strongest of shit.
All right, you asked for it. And she goes and she gets this bottle off the top shelf, and it's covered in dust.
For 5.
She comes down, she puts 5 shot glasses in front of you.
No. 5 bottles, Jody.
Yep. She knows what she asked. You asked for, and she pours this incredibly thick, viscous liquid out. And I'd like you to roll a history check.
A history check?
Yeah.
Just him?
Just
Wait a minute. Oh god, is this the? Oh, good. 19.
This looks remarkably familiar to you. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
A drink looking remarkably similar to this being served to you by the hags.
God damn it!
Oh, whoa. Okay.
You asked for the strongest thing that I have. This, for a normal man, would knock him on his arse for a week.
Right, and the last time I drank this, I got nearly killed by some ugly things, okay? You're not one of those ugly
You're not going to
things,
get
are
killed
you?
here, though if you try to drink all 5 of those, you might kill yourself. But if that's what you want, we have priests close by that'll resurrect you for a price.
Okay, no, just take it a step down. I don't want that shit. Just step down from that.
All right. Calm down a wee bit. And so she comes over with a bottle that, as she pours it into a glass, Willow, you recognize it as a form of whiskey. She pours it, leaves the bottle there with the glass. We'll start you off with one, see how it does you. There's plenty more where that came from, don't you worry.
Willow hops up on the stool next to Avok. I'd love one of those as well.
Not a problem. Now, your friend was looking for alcohol content. You seem, just from looking at you, you might have a bit of a more broad palate. Was there something specific you were looking for, other than getting shite-faced?
Definitely drunk. One of those kinds of nights. But maybe something
Understand
local.
completely.
Something smoother,
How
sweeter.
does this sound? I have got, and she goes into the back, this is a lovely bottle of the Empress's own wine. We get very few of them. It is the best wine you're ever going to find in your entire life. It'll take a little while for you to get shite-faced, but
Sure.
you'll enjoy the experience getting there.
Okay.
How about I pour you a nice glass of this?
We'll start there. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, well, you can have this glass. I'll just take the bottle. And he just starts chugging the bottle.
Okay.
Shoots right to the glass.
It's relatively strong stuff. Probably some of the strongest alcohol that you've had, Avok. So after half a bottle, you're already starting to feel it a little bit. Willow, as she brings it out, she goes, "Now, you may want to give it about 5 minutes, let it breathe for a little bit to get the full bouquet." What about Fade, Kata? Did you guys come into the bar as well, or?
I guess so.
Okay, so she turns to Willow. You have 2 friends over there that don't seem to be doing much. Were they wanting drinks or anything like that? For the wee one, we've got some things that won't get her tipsy, but it'll still taste nice.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, will you just have her come over here and tell me what she wants, and I'll be sure to make sure that she gets something tasty.
Yeah, Avok turns towards them. Hey, you two, get over here. Let's get shit-faced together.
Not sure about that, but hey, I kind of thirsty anyway.
All right, wee one, and what might you be looking for? We've got things like what he's drinking and things like what she's drinking, or we've got things that are a little bit more fruity, things with a little bit more flavor in them, things that won't mess with your mind quite as much.
Maybe some fruit juice, please.
How does this sound? I have something rather spectacular here for you. And she goes over, and you see her start mixing a bunch of different bottles that seem to be chilled because there's little bits of kind of frosty steam coming off of them. And she mixes a couple in there, and you see her take a wand out and kind of wave it over, and you watch as the concoction starts to bubble and fizz. Give that one a try. We call it a fizzy mixer. And it's, carbonated fruit juice, and it's sweet and, like, very much a very sweet drink. Almost candied.
You want to taste Willow?
Sure, thank you.
And you'd never dealt with bubbling beverages and things like that before, so it does give you kind of ideas.
I mean, technically, it's silver spark bubbles.
Oh yeah, never mind. So you have. I don't think.
But
Well, I guess you would have known how to make virgin versions of some of your drinks. So
Yeah.
So you've probably seen something similar to this. The specific mixture is new to you, but and a few of the fruit flavors that you taste are not. They're native to the Feywild, so you've never tasted them before. But yeah, it's a fizzy, fruity, candy drink. Probably horrible for your teeth.
Okay. She hands it back.
What about you, tall one? And she looks at Fade. You look like you could use a stiff one.
Fade just looks down at the table and smirks and says, "No, I'm okay, thanks."
Well, would you like something to eat? We've got. The kitchen's closed by now, but we've still got some cold meats. We've got some breads and things like that, cheeses.
I'll be okay. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Well, if any of the rest of you other than Big Muscly over there need something, just give me a wave.
Ava finishes the bottle, smashes it. Another bottle!
You're going to be a fun one. And she reaches down, gets another bottle, puts it in front of you.
Willow just reaches over and mends the bottle and then puts it back on the counter.
I was about to do.
She looks at you and just gives kind of a knowing nod, and then she comes over. Avok, I need you to make me a perception roll with disadvantage.
Okay. 14.
Damn you, good disadvantage perception roll. I have to actually roll for this. And I'm rolling like me. Yeah, okay. So you don't hear this. But she comes over to Willow and goes, "Listen, I don't need to have a scene here tonight. If you know your friend a wee bit better than I do, obviously. If you get the idea that he might start getting, let's say, out of hand after another drink, just give me a nod and I'll give him something that looks remarkably similar and tastes remarkably similar to what he's drinking. Just won't have quite the effect he's looking for. If you know what I mean." So, Avok, you are in that kind of pleasantly drunk stupor at this point, because she did give you pretty high proof stuff.
Willow picks up the glass that Ava gave her and just downs it in one gulp and then goes into the wine.
Really, really. If you've ever had like a really good red wine,
Mhm.
This particular one it's a sweet red, and yeah, best red wine you've ever had in your life.
Did we get actual rooms?
Yeah,
Mhm.
you guys have 2 rooms. You have 2 suites. Actually, you have one for you and Avok, and one for Kata and Willow. Or that's what you've been told. You haven't actually been up to them.
It's gonna go upstairs.
Okay. So you stop by the front desk to get your key. You get
Yeah.
up. You see a relatively nice kind of sitting room. There's some chairs. There's a window, and then you can see 2 sets of doors on either side of the room. And if you go into one of them, you see a fairly opulent bedroom. You assume the other one is the same.
Yep. I just sit down and I make food and water for myself and I chillax and kind of contemplate stuff.
Okay. The rest of you guys drink and then go to bed, I'm assuming. Is there anything else you want to do before you go to sleep?
Willow intends on getting drunk.
Okay.
Put it out there.
The wine. By the time you're at the bottom of the bottle of wine, you're pleasantly buzzed. So you guys get to the level of intoxication you were intending.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just
assuming-
feels
I'm assuming
tired.
Yeah, you just had bubble water, so you're not intoxicated.
Yeah.
But Avok, I'm assuming, gets help getting carried up to his room with the amount of
Still
alcohol he
in the
ingests.
bottle.
Oh God.
I'm assuming you went through 3 or 4.
I ordered 5, so
Yes,
I
you didn't get 5.
Oh
No.
God. Two of us are
You may have
little
drank
girls.
5. You did not get 5 things of alcohol.
Fair.
They cut you off after you started slobbering on the counter.
Right. Actually, can we cut back a bit so I can get like a little drunk talk between me and Will and Kata, I guess?
Sure. I mean, we can basically rewind the night a little bit. Fade was basically the first person to leave the group. So then it's just you, Kata, and Willow.
Right. So,
Hmm?
what do you guys think of Landuil?
It's big. A lot of people.
A lot of annoying people. People don't shut the fuck up.
Never thought I'd miss the Platinum City.
Good. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I guess as terrible as it was still home.
Yeah. I mean, as homey as it can be for me, I guess.
That's where family was. I don't know anything about. Did you have family, Avok?
Yeah, I mean, I was clearly born into that world. Did have a mom and dad. I had a brother.
Had?
Yeah, it's me and my brother. Well, I guess half brother. I mean, he was kind of a half orc, so
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, my. I mean, where I was from, my mom, well, the Eladrin decided that she was good enough for a little action with one of their captive orcs, and that's my half brother there. Korvek was his name. Um, we were we were close. Um, and then my dad let him be taken by the fucking regiment of Eladrin that were stationed in the town I used to be from.
Oh.
I punched my father for that. He deserved it.
Of course you do.
Not sure how I feel about that tone, Kata, but I'm just gonna let that slide.
Sorry.
Anyways, yeah, so I punched my dad. Tried to get Korvek back, and, well, we both ended up in the same situation. Pretty much conscripted as cannon fodder. But we were able to keep that going for a good 5 years until we got screwed over by a couple assholes in our company. And I killed them for that. Unfortunately, got my brother killed. And, well, it's interesting. I've completely, I've forgotten about that Eladrin that killed my brother. It's been a while, but back then I had a huge, vengeance. I wanted to kill that guy. That's actually kind of how I ended up with Fade and a bunch of other people. Man, time just fucking hey. But anyways, that's all ancient history. I think you can surmise. Even in a drunken state, I can still pull out big words. Oh yeah. What about you know what? I know nothing of. I don't. What about you, Kata? You know what? We've been together for a long while, and I don't know anything about you either. Yeah, we don't talk that much apparently.
And well, to be honest, I cannot remember much of life before life in jungle anyway. Though memories are starting to come back.
Any good memories, bad memories?
I'm not sure. Apparently, I serve under or my family served under royal family when I little. Don't know what happened to. Don't know what led me to jungle though.
If if you'd like to try and recall a few of the memories, you can roll a history check.
Oh God, because that's gonna go well.
Well, again,
Oh
it's
wow.
when you were really young, so
Hey, with a -1, that's a 15.
okay. So you do remember living in a really fancy house,
Mhm.
and that your mother was always serving people food and cleaning and dusting and things like that, and she did her best to kind of keep you out of sight for most of the time. Not that she was hiding you, it was just you didn't have a use. And then you remember one night your mother waking you up in the middle of the night and telling you that you had to leave. And that was the night that you escaped into the jungle and lost sight of your mother, and then met Mama that same night, and she kind of curled around you and protected you, and so you kind of made the connection then that since you had the ability from a relatively young age to you know uh, change into small animals and things like that and speak to animals, and that your mother must have been the same, and that's where the kind of association between Mama the cat and your mother came from.
Oh, this.
It helps that I have your backstory written down.
Yeah, thank God.
So it's the only reason I know any of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the and again, you were really really young. You spent over a decade in the jungle, so
hmm
you only get little flashes of what your life was like before living in the jungle.
Yeah. Maybe someday I try really hard to uh, remember all of it, but don't really mind right now.
Sometimes it's easier to forget.
Mm-hmm. How's Avon doing?
He's slowly becoming more intelligible.
Unintelligible.
So, Willow, you mentioned family.
Yeah. I used to be there. I'm all gone.
Uh,
Can't believe it's been 5 years.
Bless you.
Bless you.
yep.
So at this point in the night, you guys have been conversing for a few hours. I'm going to say, because of how intent Avok was in getting drunk, you have hit the point of you're not like you're not going to remember the rest of this night.
Okay. Avok or all?
Just Avok, because
okay.
his specific intention was to get completely trashed.
Okay.
So
Yeah, completely blasted.
at this point, Avok, you have achieved blackout drunkenness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys can still talk to him. He won't remember
Sure.
it.
Oh.
And Willow, with your background, you can tell. Like, you've seen people blackout drunk before. This is where you generally cut them off.
Maybe we should get you upstairs, Avok.
Maybe. But this bottle is coming with me.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Don't break it in your room. Makes cleanup a lot harder.
We'll take care of it. Thank you.
Right. So you guys head off to sleep.
Well, I was gonna actually see if Faye was still awake.
Oh, okay. So you
So I
take
was like,
Avok. You
right.
take Avok up to his room. You guys have like rooms on opposite sides of the hallway. You take Avok up to his room. You see again 2 doors. One that's obviously bit in. Faye, did you close the door behind you, or?
Yeah, I closed it because I was burning incense and stuff for
Okay.
what I was doing.
But you can tell which room Fade is in. So you take Avok to the other one, plop him down on the bed, and then I'm assuming you knock on the door.
Just very lightly.
So you hear a very, very light tapping on your door. You get the idea it's not Avok.
I knock on the floors so that it sounds like that knock.
You hear your knock repeated back to you.
She kind of just like knocks again. It's a little drunk and a little confused.
Fate assumes as much and then says, "Come in."
She comes in. I'm not waking you, am I?
No. You find Fade like on the floor, like cross-legged, clearly ritual stuff.
Well, plops down next to him, a little less gingerly than she normally would.
Oh yeah, you fully like screw up the
Like,
runes.
flop.
Yeah.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
okay.
Sorry.
Put up the inside.
I'm sorry. I'm just. We were talking, and Avok's very, very drunk, but he's in bed.
That's a plus. What about you?
I'm drunk and sad.
My first thought was, what about you? I am not in bed. I'm on the floor.
Which is true.
What's up, Willow?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
You're an apologetic drunk.
If you got something to say, please say it. I'm not going to hide anything from you. You can feel the same way if you want.
I don't talk about it a lot. It's been 5 years. And it's not any easier, and I used to promise that we would see the world, and now we're in a different plane, or a different dimension. I don't know. And
Who did you promise?
my daughter. I used to promise her that we were gonna see the world, go on adventures. And now I'm here. She's never gonna be. She was a cleric. Like you. Well, not the Dark Lady, but she was like you. She wanted to make people better. She was so good. She tried to help a wood elf, and then they killed her for it. And I didn't know for a couple days, and oh god, I used to promise her the world, and I never came through. And I can't promise her anymore. And so now I'm going to promise you that I don't know how or when, but we're going to find a way home. And we're going to make the Platinum City the place that it should have been for us. A place where things like that don't happen.
I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry. And that's a valid dream and all, but I guess this place where we are now could be like a good blueprint because they seem to have at least some of it figured out. So, tell me. I mean, I don't have to do anything, but tell me about her.
Her name was Elwyn. She always had such just big dreams and wanted to make the world a better place. I remember she used to help. I guess I raised her in a tavern. I don't know. It was the two of us and Melody, the woman who owned the tavern, and she took us in, and she used to help carry around the bottles and when she was little, and help me tinker with things. Just always wanted to help. The biggest smile.
She sounds nice.
She was. When I was so young, I didn't know how to be a mom, but Melody made things easier and raised us both, I guess. I don't know.
I think if we ever get back there, I'd like to visit her with you. There's a lot of people that I think we've lost that matter more than maybe we let them matter.
Yeah. I'd like that.
Why don't you stick around? I'm going to try something.
Okay.
I'll go to sleep if you want. But I think I'm going to lean over and try to super hug you for a while.
Okay.
And not say anything else.
That's cool.
So that happens, probably for a really long time.
She hugs back completely.
So you guys share a tender moment between the two of you. Both kind of allowing yourself to feel feelings that you haven't really let yourself deal with for a while.
Oh, it all comes out.
Like ugly crying comes out?
I think probably.
Probably, and then you get that point where you're crying so much that you start laughing at some points. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think you probably start laughing way before I am because you're T-Rex.
you basically, because of the seriousness of the subject matter, you basically kind of cry yourself sober after about an hour or two.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So after all that happens, you guys are kind of, getting back in control of your emotions and everything. Definitely feeling better from the release that you haven't been able to have in months because of death and destruction all around you. So anything else you guys want to do before ending the night, or at least ending the conversation together? Because Willow, you have a room across the hall.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go.
Okay.
Then,
That's it.
yeah.
Okay. Are you guys going to sleep, or are you going to stay up all night?
I think I'm going to put my back against the wall.
Okay.
Because I got all my components and crap on the floor, and I don't feel like cleaning them up, and I don't feel like getting up. So
Okay.
Willow probably at some point just like pulls the blanket from the bed and like crawls up. 'Cause it's...
Okay. So you both eventually kind of exhaustion eventually hits you both, and you can't keep your eyes open anymore. When that happens, Willow, you kind of just conk out. Fade, as you sleep, it feels almost like the second your eyes close, you open them again, but you're not in your room anymore.
Okay.
As you look around, you are kind of confused. You see bright lights and colors and things like that, and you're not exactly sure what's happening. And eventually your vision starts to clear, and you look around and you see that you are at the edge of a giant chasm. And behind you is a forest, and you can see in the distance, large mountains and things like that behind you. And in front of you is this very giant gorge, and hundreds and hundreds of feet on the other side, you can see this like dark swamp. And behind that, you can see kind of crags of mountain and volcanic ash and things behind it. And spanning the gorge is this bridge of rock, relatively wide. And you see at the very center of the bridge, you see a house. And as you sit there watching, you start to realize that you're not standing on one side of the gorge. You're kind of just observing it from above. And as you look around, you don't really see your body. You're just kind of existing there, observing this. And so you see creatures coming from the forest. Some of them are green, some of them are red and blue and yellow, and none of them have faces or physical forms or specific forms or anything. They're just relatively bipedal, walking, and they walk from the forest, they walk across the bridge and go into the house, and then come out the other side. And some of them stay in the house for a while, some of them go back to the forest. Then you start seeing from the other side dark figures, and some of them are black and indigo and purple and dark red maroon colors, and they start doing the same thing. You see everything going up, and as you're watching this, you see some of the dark red featureless people go into the forest, and they just kind of disappear there. And shortly after that, you start seeing fires erupting in the forest in random places. And then you watch as the house itself, you see a wall start to get put up higher and higher and higher, and soon nobody is able to get to the house anymore, and no one is able to get across the gorge anymore. And then as you're looking, your vision suddenly shifts, and you're inside the house, and you can see again different kind of featureless humanoid figures talking amongst themselves, and then fighting amongst themselves, and eventually one group seems to just kind of spread out and get taller and taller and kind of lord over all the rest of them. And then you kind of go outside the house, and you can see the wall that's been built has gotten bigger and thicker and stronger, and there's spikes on it, and it gets more and more impenetrable. And then your vision shifts back inside the house. And you see 5 very small, formless shapes come and start kind of mixing things up and tripping over some of the taller figures, and the house itself starts to become more and more embroiled in conflict and things like that. And then you see a feminine shape with raven black hair, but her face is completely covered in darkness, almost as if she has some sort of a hood up, but you see nothing. And she kind of descends down and touches one of the small figures, and the figure changes from this kind of nondescript figure to glowing with this indigo blue outline. And suddenly you see the 5 figures get thrown out of the house, break through the wall, and end up on the side with the forest. And then your vision suddenly kind of shrinks down a little bit, and you're now one of the figures with the glowing blue outline. And you notice the wall itself forms and rebuilds and starts to cut you off from the town and the other side of the gorge. But as it starts closing, you see this small thread of light connect, and you look on your hand and you're wearing this glove that has the symbol of the Dark Lady on it. And this little beam of light is attached to the glove, and no matter what the wall does, it can't close over that little beam of light. And as you kind of focus on it, you realize that you can see through this little beam of light. And you look back at the house, and new creatures are starting to appear. Large winged creatures are flying over, and the nondescript humanoid figures are running around, and you see the feminine dark figure that had been floating above everything descend down and take a small group of people and basically stand in front of them, between them and all of the destruction and things. And you also noticed that when you look through, you can see that the wall on your side has been rebuilt and is even thicker than before, but the wall on the other side isn't there anymore. So the dark figures from the swamp are coming in to the small house. But you can still see this feminine figure taking a group of people and standing in front of them and shielding them from everything that's happening. And you get this sense of calm, and you start getting images of your sister and your mother, and just this sense of calm. And then you see some of your friends, like the Serrated Death and the head of the Black Sails, and again you get this sense of calm. And as you look more through this thread going through the wall, you can kind of see or feel them in this group of people that is behind this raven-haired, dark-faced woman, completely protected from all of the chaos and everything. And as you sit there staring at your glove, you notice a second thread appears and hits your glove, and you watch as it draws a symbol on the glove that you haven't seen before. But you instantly know what it is and what it means. And when you wake up, you kind of wake up in a cold sweat. And you're in the room. Willow is kind of snuggled up against you. And I'm assuming like you just passed out in your armor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you look down at your gauntlet and you see the rune of life and death there that you've used before. And you can see a new rune that looks exactly like the symbol that was carved into your glove has appeared on your gauntlet. And you get the idea that due to your connection to the Dark Lady, the barrier between the worlds can't be completely cut off. And that she's protecting the people that are important to you until you can get back. But you get a very strong feeling that your connection to the Dark Lady is going to be the key that gets you through that wall that you saw.
Do I sense any of this rune's power other than the embrace that I feel from her?
Did you check your email before?
Yep.
Yes. Then you get a very strong sense of exactly what this particular rune does.
I turn it on and I teleport Willow to the bed.
Technically, it requires an attack, but sure, we'll see.
I'll pretend to hit her in the face.
And then block yourself.
Yes.
So yeah, you get the feeling that the first rune again is all about the control of life and death. This one is all about the control of darkness, and the protection that darkness can provide. And so, yeah, Willow, you don't notice really anything. You are out like a light.
I think I just kind of look down and try to wrap my head around what she's shown me, but I think there's a genuine smile probably for the first time, and then he closes his eyes and goes to sleep.
Good. So the night passes, and that is where we are going to end it for tonight.
Yay!
For those of you watching, if you missed any part of the show due to technical difficulties or anything like that, I do record these locally. So when I drop the stream and everything, I do have a recording that I'll upload to my YouTube channel. This week, unfortunately, will be in 2 parts because I had to change some settings to get the frames to stop dropping. But it's all on youtube.com/trainerjody. You can watch the almost 3-year campaign. We have all the episodes up on that channel. It's called Kingdom of the Kael Isles. So feel free to watch this episode or any of the other ones if you want to see everything that happens. I do run D&D games every Wednesday night, or just about every Wednesday night here. When I'm not running this one, I'm running another one set in the same universe, but at a completely different place and different time. So yeah, feel free to follow me here or subscribe if you want to. I'm now a Twitch affiliate. All that stuff helps me do things like buying. I just got a new camera and stuff like that. Otherwise, again, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram that I never use, and all that other stuff. But anyway, that's all for me today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye bye.